Hello, and welcome back to the Druidic Stormcloud channel where we'll be playing Pillars of Eternity with our character Dumerbella, the dwarf barbarian that first came about when I had friends create my Neverwinter character. We'll be continuing with her, and when last we left off, we found out about where the entrance to the temple was. We have a person that is requesting us to dispatch the undead mage in the sewers. And we'll be diving right into where we left off. I hope everyone is ready, and I hope everyone enjoys this. So, let's go ahead and jump right into the game.
No problem.
Remember, this is set to the normal difficulty. There are various levels of difficulty you can choose from, including one that when your party members are dead, they don't come back.
Or whatever happens, at least we're out of it. I grew up in Gilded Vale. Quaint. That's what I meant to call it. No, you had it right.
He called it a mud veil, or mud bowl, or mud hole. Why did I
Hey.
Ready, Watcher.
How may I help?
Following your lead.
Eh?
Okay. Can't let your experiments continue. He lets out a bubbling hiss of frustration. You sound just like him. No ambition, stuck on his pet project and his self-righteous sense of ethics. If it were left to people like Moadrid, animancy would be little more than sorting in Guathan pottery. We'd be stuck in time as those hut dwellers, or as stuck in time. He gestures at the table in front of them. Everyone wants immortality, but no one wants to know what it costs. A tremor passes through him. He clutches his stomach. Costs, indeed. There was a purpose. There's a purpose that you can yet serve.
Eh? Ready, Watcher.
Yes?
What? Hey.
Yeah?
There we go. Fine scepter, his grimoire, his robes. A soul prowls within the bloodstone like a caged stilgar. It's filled with fierce, restless energy. Who are you? You see an image in your mind of a woman in heavy leather armor, bearing twin daggers. Next to her is a man, young and handsome, who calls her Rowena. The vision shifts to a windswept plain next to a lake. 50 men and women in matching leathers lay dead, their bodies contorted and deformed by some sinister sorcery. Rowena falls among them, her body collapsing next to the young man you saw earlier. She's too weak to speak, but the name Dalton appears in your mind. A lone figure strides across the battlefield, barely bothering to step over the corpses. His eyes are filled with an unnatural light and fixed on Rowena. He reaches out to her, and what little life remains in her body departs. When he takes the amulet from around her neck, you feel her anguished soul trapped within. With a final contemptuous glance at the fallen Dalton, the man departs. Dalton sent me to find you. The soul pulses with warmth. It fills your mind with memories of a young man who's both bold and generous. But fury and despair gnaw at those images away until all you can feel are cold, crimson walls pressing against you, and something loathsome feeding off you as the years fade into decades. What do you want? It's the image of an amulet shattering and the cold and the soul inside rising and departing among the stars.
folks, and into the fight!
Ah, crap. Three days and 5 hours for this. There you are.
Good day, stranger.
Did you find her? Show him the amulet. Yes, but not as you expected. Rowena used to wear this. Where did you get it? From Helig, who's trapped her soul inside for decades. It's time to set her free. His eyes widen in horror. No, please. After searching for it for so long, he gazes at the amulet just to have her close to me, to visit her in my dreams. That would be enough. No. No. I don't have the resolve or intelligence to convince him otherwise. But leaving her in there is just... that's not good. The bloodstone shatters as essence departs from the gem. And as essence departs from the gem, a wail escapes Dalton's lips. He falls to his knees, scooping up the broken fragments and sobbing. Resting. Oh, that is the Temple of Wodica. Oh, another vision. In front of you looms the ghostly hollow image of the man who was present at your awakening. He casts a pale, sickly light in the dark corner as he regards you.
You are from Kratom, my dear?
His words echo in your mind from a time long past, and you know your response before you speak it, as if it has always been. Two.
A remarkable city. Truly one of the most impressive we have encountered outside of our own. Many exceptional people who have joined our cause come from Kratom. What made you decide to join our order?
Four, they went through dark times. Now this is all about the past life.
Little makes sense in the false contexts much of the world has lived under for so long. It is by the mercy of the gods that our faith has been able to reach so many of the heathen in more recent times. Are you ready to take the oath? To spread the word of the gods to the lost and heathen?
Mercenary eyes you warily as you approach, his weapon readied. What are you doing here? You don't look like one of that masked lot. For what's going on here? Since you don't know, you clearly don't belong here. The guard whistles sharply and you hear shouts of alarm in the distance. That didn't go as easily as I'd hoped.
Eh?
Okay. Oh well, stealth was never a priority.
Got it.
I almost used WASD again.
Brave thou off.
Oh, we got more grimoires, more loot, more money. We have about 1,000 gold. Frenzy.
Brave thou shalt believe.
I'd like to rage. And that barbarian might go down. Maybe not.
Moe ixi ana. Brave Moe ixi ana. Moe ixi ana.
Is it because he couldn't summon his stuff? That leads to another area, I think. Let's go ahead and go up here.
Eh?
Worth it. Wrong.
No problem.
Brave thou shalt
Eh?
believe.
Huh. That was easier than I thought it would be.
No problem. My eyes are peeled.
Okay. Nothing. So let's just loot everything.
I'll give it a try, at least. As requested.
There we go. Okay, it was just a door. Aloth falters and brings a hand to his forehead. He takes a staggering step forward, coughing and sputtering.
Back, you Claude! Those hooded fiends are not to be trusted!
Aloth, hey, now's not the best time for that. He grimaces, catching his breath. It's nothing. I'm fine. He coughs again. This probably isn't the best place to linger anyhow.
Yeah.
Dear, the fox is down. That's not good.
What?
You should have an ability. Holy Radiance was already used.
No!
Okay. Damage reduction. Slashing and piercing. Jimmer Bella is using a slashing and piercing weapon, isn't she? And crushing. Very slight crushing. As for Edar, those resist crushing, and he's using his sword, so he's fine.
No!
Damn it!
Okay. Crumpled by at your feet, the body of a woman, or lies the body of a woman. She wears a dark robe that bears an insignia resembling a key. As you approach the woman's body, feelings of rage assault you. The dead woman's voice howls in your ears, and her lingering consciousness rends at you. Her essence tingles through your bones and membranes. It fills the space between your ears and behind your eyes, clawing deeper into your core. You see a gathering of men and women wearing robes like hers, their faces hidden behind masks. One of them approaches her, whom they only know as an acolyte. and she places her hands on each of their foreheads, searching their thoughts. She tests them with ritualistic questions, and they answer that their oath is sealed by the leaden key. She asks them of their tasks. She gives them new ones, all without a word. Try to see the tasks. Her essence flares, fighting to boil your blood, burn your memory, and splinter your bones from within. Yet between its strikes you see flashes of something else: a tower, a prisoner, and a ruin. You funnel all of your consciousness into a single effort of will, a sharp point that pins this raging soul in place like an insect in a display case. With the thing under control, you're able to examine it and the three memories or three thoughts swirling inside. Examine about the tower. You see a palmacet of a neighborhood. Run-down estates are cobbled around a cemetery and an ancient tower. Savage shapes prowl the streets, and in the tower, a man hunches over a strange mechanism. You can't see him clearly, but there's something unnatural about him. Somewhere nearby, you see a woman with a scar over her heart. You understand that she has something he needs. You also see a door in the basement of the tower, a seemingly impenetrable slab of stone and copper. But then the acolyte reveals an invisible split between the perfectly matched halves, and you understand how the copper veins convert a command into action. You know how to open the door. Inquire about the prisoner. In your mind, you see a building, magnificent with trestles and tiles, and located on a pristine boulevard. The wealthy and learned stroll in and out, trading knowledge and coin. Yet it also houses misery and madness. Somewhere within its rotten core sits a man, his hair matted, but his eyes alert. He watches and waits, a prisoner by choice. Look at the ruins. The Acolyte's vision takes you out of Defiance Bay and to a town in the wilderness with a watermill. A signpost on one of the paths reads Deerford. Several figures huddled together, shrouded in cloaks and hoods. An image of ruins suddenly looms in your mind. Two skeletal effigies flanked in a cleft in a mountainside. Back away.
Hey.
Lead key.
No problem. Ready, Watcher.
Okay. That was everything here, so let's continue on. We were able to get what information we could out of the Boudica situation. Oh, the steward of Cad Noir has received a letter for you. An ivory horn. Explorers in discovered an ivory horn of disputed provenance. Confathans believe it's stolen from an Anglothon ruin, but the explorers claimed it was dropped by an early dwarven expedition.
A moment, please. I feel I should explain myself. About my episode in the catacombs. There's something I should have told you earlier.
That's an understatement. He clasped his hands together, slowly massaging a knuckle with his thumb. I meant no harm. I thought I could keep it to myself. That's when we resolved the matter of your that when we resolved the matter of your soul, we would also address my problem.
I also have an awakened soul. But unlike yours, mine is a presence that shares my
One moment.
senses and my skin, making herself manifest at the most unwelcome times.
I see. He closes his eye and grits his teeth. His lips quiver and twitch with the vestiges of some internal debate. Several seconds later, he opens his eyes. They're watery and bloodshot.
I'm sorry. I've tried to learn to control Isilmir. I've gotten stronger, but so has she.
Tell me about Isilmir.
Artless, uncouth, a creature of rash impulses and feeble faculties. She wags her impertinent tongue when she should listen. Aye, this one's fit to boil. Hard to get this gaff over anything tisn't to do with books and spell speak.
He grimaces, running his hand through his hair. I have none of her memories. Barth spared me that much. But her coarse manners and intolerable Heilspeak suggests a provincial forum a very, very long time ago. She tends to surface a hair's breadth from conflict when the fuse has burned down and teeth are on edge. And when she shows up, she doesn't stop to gauge the situation, she just acts. Yeah, Doomerbella would say he could take a few pointers from her. Cues or vulgarisms. He rolls his eyes and crosses his arms over his chest. I've had to live with that hayseed for years. There's nothing to be learned from her. Nothing civilized, anyway. He frowns and looks away. Why didn't you say something sooner?
I learned to keep her a secret a very long time ago. Those with awakened souls are shunned, mistrusted. And after your experience with Meerwald, I'm certain you can see why. You need to be careful.
Is it going to be a problem?
Merely an annoyance. Although...
He lowers his voice and clasps his hand behind his back. Minute twitches and spasms along his arm betray his fidgeting.
Defiance Bay is said to have an entire institution dedicated to the study and cure of soul-related ailments. Since our journeys have already brought us to the city, perhaps we could speak with someone there.
If it's helpful to you, let's go.
Thank you. This has been a great burden.
No problem. Let's get going. Ducal Palace. Embassy, Crucible Keep, Edge Hill. I believe it's over here. The sanitarium is also probably one of the places we saw in the vision, isn't it?
Hail, traveler.
A bald man with a crooked nose gestures in demonstration over the still body of a patient before a small gathering of interested onlookers. Feeling your gaze, he pauses his discussion. Have you come to sit in? Do you know anything about awakenings? I'm afraid that's not my area of expertise. We also need to turn in that quest and tell the guy we killed what was effectively a lich.
Hail and well met.
Helig is dead. For good. He lets out a long breath. Then I can rest easy. You've done a great service for Animency, for the sanitarium, and for me. Thank you. Alright, now we'll talk about needing...
Hail, traveler.
I'm looking for an expert on awakenings. That Villian woman studies him. You should go talk to her instead. We have a neutral reputation in Defiance Bay. Interesting. Probably because of not... Maybe it is that person. Yeah. Something else you need? I'm looking for an expert on awakenings. She laughs bitterly. Ah, that would be me. Although the lack of research subjects has made me more of an expert on counting floorboards. I would like to transfer Animancy's success in buttressing pre-awakened souls to soothing those whose souls have already awakened. But I need subjects, and most of the patients here are too broken to proceed or produce reliable results. It's a tragedy to have come so far and for nothing. You're in luck. You have a volunteer. She springs to the balls of her feet, beaming. Who is it? Alice curls her lips curl into a frown. I don't know about this. She grins more broadly still. Don't be silly. The process is perfectly harmless. All you must do is stand in that cage. I beg your pardon? I jest. You Adrians are so uptight. I do not even know what the thing is used for. It belonged to the last occupant of the office, I think. And now they upgrade him to a cell. Again, I jest. She rubs her hands together, getting down to business. So, I need you to sit here. She takes Aloth by the shoulders and steers him to the couch. And try to relax. But don't try too hard. Then you will not be relaxing. Indeed. His eyes are humorless. And you must also wear these. A little cold, but the copper will help conduct your essence. The Animancer flattens thick copper bands onto Aloth's forehead and wrists. And she ratchets them tighter. As she ratchets them tighter, his face twists with suppressed irritation. Now, I will examine your soul through my scope. She reaches into her desk and produces a long chambered tube, knobs, dials, and small toothed wheels run along the side of the device. It is fitted with Adra lenses, cut to different thicknesses and concavities. By manipulating them, I find the angles and densities that will allow me to track the anomalies in your soul. Whew. How exciting! I've never seen this sort of thing performed. Kana peers at the device with interest. It seems suitably complicated. Does this mean we'll get to talk to Islamir more? I like that lady. She raises a finger. But first, we must find this cunning interloper. You will answer some personal questions while I make adjustments. Sagni pats his arm. Don't worry, I'm sure we won't hear any of it. Aloth squirms on the couch. Very well. She holds the scope to her eye and flicks a knob. To begin with, tell me something personal, something from a time before your awakening. There's nothing to tell. I was a normal child living in the Sithwood. He looks to you, his face set in a frown, but the rigid edges of apprehension showing through nonetheless. What do you remember about your home? As you speak to Aloth, you feel your voice like a bell in your chest. It tolls softly, luring him into the mist of his own memory. Belisage doesn't seem to notice anything, but you feel as if your words are soothing his essence, untangling its many threads. He closes his eyes, comfortable, modest, quiet when Mother was away, which is most of the time, quiet enough to hear the clanks of glass on wood. This is when I know to be the most careful. Father is good about hiding the bottles. Mother, when she's home, is good about pretending not to notice them. This is good. I'm starting to see something. Continue. Tell us about the time you awakened. She bites her tongue as she twists one of the dials. I'm in my 5th year of training. Mother is home. I can let my guard down a little because when she's around, he is usually only angry with her. But he has heard that I have had trouble casting missiles, that my flame shields are unstable. That he's furious that I have failed, and Mother's presence reminds him that he has failed too. The first blow takes me by surprise. One moment I am weeping in the kitchen, the next I am sprawled on the floor, stupidly looking at the flecks of my blood on the tile. His boots glistening with fresh polish thud across the floor. He kicks me in the stomach and I curl up to shield my vitals, but it's pointless. Protecting one thing only leaves something else exposed. Still huddled on the ground, I retreat as fast as I can. I retreat until the vision of the kitchen is and my own trembling knees is nothing but a pinprick against a field of black. His jaw locks and his eyes twitch beneath their lids. Belisag furiously cranks the knobs on along her scope. He's hypnotized himself with this old memory. I've got to bring him out of it, quickly. I almost have it. Squeeze his hand and tell him everything's fine. His eyes snap open, but the expression you see in them isn't his. He's ne'er safe when I hap upon him. Belisag sucks in a deep breath through her teeth. That's it. I'm seeing a shift in his essence. Something spreading and congealing. She glances at you over her scope. Keep talking. He seems to respond to you. What brought you here? Crackling bones and voices in high in ire. The more molasses feeling that creeps down your gut when a crisis is nigh. We have flares of a totally distinct essence. She jots short-handed notes onto the pages next to her and turns one clicking knob of her scope. Now try to get the two of them talking. Yeah, tell Aloth why you've awakened. Fie, he's the one who needed me, hiding in his own bone bag like a turtle in its shell. Aloth's face twists in fury. I never turned it over to you. Good, very good. She rests from her scribblings only to make another adjustment on her scope. I can now see two separate patterns of essence. Where he ebbs, the other flows. It's as if the awakened soul fills the spaces that he leaves empty. She prompts you with a circling of her wrist and quill in hand. Quill still in hand. Go on. What's this about ceding space to Islamir? He grits his teeth painfully. I've given her nothing. She usurps me in my own body. Aye, and I lend him a pair too. You should ask what I did with that old man is. Well, the last time he laid a hand on us, I broke it in 3 places. Aloth's head jerks to one side. That wasn't your decision. It's never been your decision. I was awakening. But now I'm stuck with you. And damned if I let you ninnying drag us both through the scupper. Ah, very good. She lowers the scope and consults her notes. I think I finally got something we can work with. I've tracked Isselmir's essence throughout the exchange. She had a particularly high density index during the most heated portions of their argument, and her essence seems to localize most clearly in the lower portion of the subject's left rib cage. It's right around the spleen, which of course means that she's triggered by black bile. No doubt the subject's characteristic melancholy is to blame. Elaf blinks back at you in the midst of his perturbations. You're not quite sure who's looking out of his eyes. That's utter horseshit. Black bile, is it? They've certainly spat their share. Kana studies Aloth dubiously. It's a simpler explanation than I expected, all things considered. She glares at him. Yes, never mind my years of training. I suppose you have a better explanation. You're close. I think Isselmir's appearance is related to potential sources of trouble for Aelioth. Belisog carefully scratches her jaw, her gaze darting between you and Aelioth. I suppose that could be true. She jots another note. I'll have to check this again. It's the other research. He removes the copper bands. Well, good for you, but what does this mean for me? Belisog frowns, at her notes, tapping her chin with a quill, and making a grand show of concentration. However, you catch her stealing glances at you over the pages. Isselmir tries to take control of you when she thinks you can't face a problem on your own. You can't let her make these decisions for you. Actually, let's go with 3. It seems Isselmir steps in when she determines that you're in danger. It's not clear yet whether this is for a help or a hindrance. From my position, I'd say it's pretty clearly a hindrance. I've got a lot to process. Regardless, thank you for your help, Dumarbella. He does not look at Belisage. She sets her notes on her desks and returns to her scope. Well, I hope this has been useful to you, as it has been for me. I finally have material worth publishing. You'll be the toast of Revia, Near Aloth. He grimaces. His grimace melts into a crooked smile. Aye, advancing the right wise principles of animancy. Just what you've always wanted. As you turn to leave, you catch a darting movement out of the corner of your eye. Belisage is humming to herself, still occupied with her scope, but Aelioth is holding her notes. He's just about to tuck them into his cloak when he catches you watching. He holds a finger to his lips, his eyes wide and imploring. Please, I don't want my personal information published like this, especially after all that nonsense. Fair enough, but do this quietly. He hides the papers in his cloak. Not to worry. We'll see to this on our own. Alright. Quest completed, 2-sided. Apparently the sanitarium wasn't quite what we had been looking for. Okay, so we have something going on at the fort. Let's go ahead and check that. Explorers discovered a ivory horn. We succeeded, and we got an item. Taxes collected, lost some to bandits, but we earned some.
Sagani, does your fox bite?
Yes.
Can I pet him anyway?
It's your hand.
I'm gonna pet him.
Oh, Edar. Abandoned house. There's gotta be more going on here. A woman sits by herself, spinning something on the table in front of her, and watches it with furious intensity. It's about the size of a coin, and it wobbles over a crack in the wood with metallic rattle. She snatches it up with one good hand and slams a half-empty cup down on the table with the other. This is not a good time. I look like I could use another drink. I'll get there. She takes a long drink from her glass, just trying to calm down and talking to myself out of something foolish. Something foolish? Sounds fun, let me in. She says nothing for a few moments, as if hoping you'll leave. At last, Kinra looks up at you, and lamplight falls across her face. A purple bruise is blossoming along her cheekbone. There's something I need to give my fiancé, Persnick, only he doesn't seem to go anywhere without his new friends. They're not exactly pleasant company. Tell me about these new friends. They come into our house with their dead eyes and black teeth. I'm not a fool. I know what that means. Persnick makes me leave when they show up. But it's obvious what they come to do. The last time they come, I told them to get out. Let them have their fun somewhere else. And the gift. But not under my roof. She scowls and winces, her fingertips gently probing her bruise. Sveth changes you, I guess. The Persnick I knew wouldn't have squashed a spider. I never thought he'd... But that makes people calm and listless. Shouldn't make them violent. She shrugs. I don't know. Seemed better than believing he'd always been this way. Maybe I could go talk to him. Her hand rests on the table, and she clenches it into a white-knuckled fist. There's nothing more to say to him. We're finished. I just want to give him back, or this back to him, and have a clean break. She opens her hand, and a ring clatters onto the table. It was his grandmother's. Even after this, I don't have the heart to sell it off. But if I go back there myself, who knows what'll happen. I lose my temper and I'll probably wind up with another one of these. She points to her bruise. I wouldn't normally hand this off to a stranger, but people say you've got a good heart. If you give this back to him, he'll know we're done. I'll take the ring to him then. She looks at you and nods. The house is just north of here. Just please don't hurt him. I'm furious at him. I am. I don't want that on my conscience. Or as furious as I am, I don't want that on my conscience. The only other person in here is Bishop. And there are people with golden names, but those
Well,
are
my
the...
friend.
You know anything about Marchsteel Dagger? Raises his eyebrows. Haven't seen anything like that cross my bar. That's for sure. He thumps the smooth wooden countertop, but I wouldn't wager against someone here having a blade like that. Check upstairs. I saw a group headed that way not long ago, carrying plenty of steel. The common room. 25 copper pieces. There we go.
How do you do?
Ah, two-tone weasel. An Orlan man relaxes with his feet propped up on the table. Patches of dark brown skin peek out from under a full mane of blue-green hair. He and the Orlan woman with him exchange laughs and comments with a trio nearby at a nearby table, and he spins a dagger in his hand. He gazes his hazel eyes watch you. You look like you've seen a night or two in the wilds. Join us for a drink? Did you buy that March steel dagger from Igron? He displays the blade on a flat palm. I did, and a fine piece it is. I don't know any more circulating in the city outside the steel and the cobblestone or cobble keep, of course. I was trying to get it for a kid named Gordy. He blinks and kicks his feet off the table. A kid? This isn't a toy, you know. Get him a wooden sword. The Orland woman leans over and punches his arm. Come on, Weaksel. If our friend here is willing to pay, what's the harm? Plenty, actually. That kid'll probably poke his eye out. Besides, I plan to use this dagger. How much would it take you you to change your mind? Turns the blade in the light, admiring it. Seeing as how there's a sudden demand for this, 100 pen sounds fair. Deal. Hands you the dagger, hilt first. Pleasure doing business with you. Who are all of you? Name's Two-Tone Wixel. Laying next to me is Key. We've had fun with the expedition, but we're hoping to enjoy a little peace and quiet for the next few weeks anyway. A man at the table, or at the next table, nods at you. I'm Dedsot Dayton. This is Hurdy and Diltha. We were part of separate expedition teams, but we suffered losses and decided to band together. He takes several items off his fingers. Beasts, barbarians, Beowicks. It's a dangerous time to be an adventurer, but a prosperous one too. At the next table, Dayton raises his glass. And here's to many more prosperous journeys. Nope, nothing else. Okay.
As requested.
Okay. It's going good so far. Now we got the dagger, we can return it to him. But first we're going to go ahead and drop off that ring.
Ready, Watcher.
Hey. Greetings.
The man before you flashes a toothy and rather unpleasant grin. Well now, a new face. Welcome, friend. Name's Persnack, and this, he gestures around to the room around you, is my humble abode and place of business. And I do hope you're in here to do some business. He glances at the nearby guard. Give him the ring. Kainra asked me to give this to you, or give you this. Takes the ring and turns it around in his finger. Nice, what's it for? You don't even recognize the wedding band you gave her? He laughs. Oh yeah, I see now. She's making a statement, is she? Good riddance to her, then. Sorry I ever spent the coin to begin with. Now, is that all? Seems a difficult thing to forget. Giving your grandmother's ring to someone. Maybe she's just not worth remembering, eh? While you're playing lapdog for her and all, why don't you go back and tell her keep clear of here? How dare you hate your own fiancé? How can you live with yourself? She was asking for it. Sort of like you, right now. Maybe you ought to quit digging around in affairs that don't concern you. Me, I've got business to get back to. Doors that way. Something's not right here, and I don't plan on leaving until I find out what's going on. Then you won't be leaving at all, friend. I was tired of wearing this face anyhow. Guards, to me! Okay, go into frenzy.
How may I help?
You're getting caught in the fireball, and I'm sorry about that, but... Stop! Nerid staggers back, holding a bloody hand in front of him. I give up. Just leave, and I'll go peacefully, alright? Too late.
Following your lead.
You're gonna switch over to this one.
Let's see what lies this way. fear me.
I'm here. Sure.
Oh boy. So if you had just left, then bad things would have been continuing. The jars are chipped and cracked as if knocked to the ground and set back in place. It appears as though someone rummaged through this uneven row of books in a hurry. A man lies, bound and bloody, on the floor before you. His face is a tapestry of bruises, and blood is splattered across several corners of the room. The man cringes and sobs as you approach. Gods, please, please no more. I can't take any more. I'm not here to hurt you. The man pauses, gazing up at you. You're not? Oh, praise Bereth. You're not one of his men, are you? He glances nervously behind you. He shakes his head. Please, I don't know who you are, but my name is Persnick. This is my house. You have to help me. Then who was that downstairs? An imposter, some wizard named Nerid. He came into my house, tied me up in here, tortured me, and now he and his men are eating my food, breaking my things, selling Sveth in my own house. He blinks. He just turned up all of a sudden? He looks away, unable to meet your gaze. I may have hung on to a tiny portion of my supplier's share, but I needed the money. What exactly happened? He sent over the wizard, Nerid, the man downstairs. Persnick shuddered. To make you up the lost copper, I guess. And to hurt me while he was at it. Feels like it's been days. He's already taken care of. He stares at you. I can't believe this nightmare is finally over. He grins weakly, then seems to remember something. You've no idea what you've done for me, but... He looks up at you and away again. I need to find my love, Kianra. Only after whatever Nerid put her through. I'm afraid she won't give me a chance to explain. But she might listen to you. Please. She must be somewhere in Copper Lane. It's my only home. Or it's the only home she knows. She's known. And please, don't tell her about this, Veth. About what I do. Perhaps you should trust her to make her own decision rather than lie to her. I know I can't force you to keep this secret. I just don't want to lose her. After what happened here, I'm sure she won't have anything to do with the stuff. Or me if she finds out. She sent me in the first place. She did. Woman helped save my life without realizing it. Please, bring her home and tell her that everything's back to normal. I'll go talk to her, but I'm not lying to her. Thank you. I can't thank you enough, truly. What happened with Persnick? Did you give him the ring? He was imprisoned by a wizard, but he's also deals the stuff. She covers her mouth with her hand, shocked. Persnick, my Persnick dealer. If I didn't know you for an honest woman. She brings her fist down on the table, sloshing her drink. Damn it! How can I trust him after something like this? He's lied to me for so long. She runs her hands through her hair and takes a deep breath. I should just be glad I found out before the reddening. Honestly, he's in the wrong. Don't do drugs. Don't deal drugs. But right now, I think he needs help and forgiveness more. You think I could help him turn around? I hadn't thought of it that way. You really do see the best in everyone. I appreciate what you've done for us. And I'm certain Persnick feels the same way. You're always welcome to come see us if you need anything. Oh, and take this. She unclasped something from her neck. Picked it up from one of the merchants to help me stand firm on my decision. I'll be fine without it now. I think I still have her ring. No? No, we got that and we lost the ring. Okay. And now, let's go over to where the entrance to the catacombs is, and we will give a kid a dagger. Deceptive. When did I get deceptive? You're not the kid. Kid's over there. Okay. No, this is where Duncan is. Or Dalton. The kid is over here. I have the dagger right here. He bounces and stares. It's so sharp. Slowly hold out the dagger, pommel first. Listen first. When you're not using it, keep it sheathed or it'll rust. Don't show it off, or someone's gonna take it away from you. Or worse, it's a weapon, not a toy. Understand? His hand trembles as he restrains himself from snatching the dagger away. He nods, holding the dagger in its sheath. I'll take good care of it. I promise. So, about that secret. He puts his hand up to his mouth and whispers loudly. I saw one of the actors hide something under a loose stone near the theater. Probably nothing as good as a march steel dagger, though. Thank you for telling me. Bye. Theater. Is that this? Or is it in a... It's in the fancy part of town, isn't it? Still a neutral one. Overwhelmingly good. A champion in Gilded Vale, but neutral here in Defiance Bay.
All these pages serve no better use than fuel for the fire.
Gods keep you.
The woman barely glances up from the tomes on the table as you approach. You're welcome to browse the stacks, but mind you keep your voice down. It's still a temple after all. And Grimda doesn't tolerate disorder. This is a temple. It looks like a library. She throws her broad shoulders back. Oh, that was one. And a devotee of Wheel. It's my duty to look after the records and resources. Anything else? Her eyes grow wide and round. That's because it is. A whale is the god of mysteries and answers, encryption and decryption, concealment and revelation. She raises her hand to the rows of shelves. Its guidance comes from the understanding of the unknown and the protection of the hidden knowledge. The Hall of Revealed Mysteries was built to celebrate that. To think there's such a place in the Deerwood. Incredible! I'd love a glimpse of the archives. How many secrets must sit upon those shelves? Fascinating, isn't it? Temples dedicated to Wheel tend to hold vast stores of knowledge, but we use that knowledge to unravel and preserve the mysteries of the world. Who's Grimda? Felix speaks reverently. Why, she's a High Archivist. She's one of the most accomplished scholars alive today. Nothing goes on here without her knowing about it. Almost nothing, anyway. She scratches behind her ear. You should probably tread lightly around her today. farewell.
Hail and well met.
An elderly dwarf surveys the stacks. Her skin looks as though you wrinkled, or as tough and wrinkled as a walnut. Despite her stature, she manages to look down her nose at you. You're welcome to look around, but let the priests and scriveners continue their search. She shoots the nearest robed figure a withering glance. Wouldn't do to give them any other excuses. Oh yeah, an Animancer did send me to get something. Grimda's impressive frown deepens. Thank you for letting me know. I'll be sure to tuck that tome away from prying eyes. And see that this knitting never sets foot in here again. In the meantime, here, a token of our appreciation. Is this what you wanted? To see her barred entirely? Seems a fearsome price to pay. Knowledge dangled out. That probably wasn't. My dog is demanding attention right now, so I have to step away. I will be back momentarily. Okay, I am back. My dog decided he wanted outside, so now he's outside. What are you looking for? Maybe I could find it. She sizes you up, stroking her chin. And I could trust you to bring it back, I suppose? Certainly couldn't do worse than this lot, anyway. Thieves made off with an ancient scroll of Whale. They intend to blaspheme it by selling that which should remain hidden. A secret of the 100 Visions. Her wiry eyebrows arch over her spectacles. The guards caught one of them, but were overzealous in their interrogation. All they could piece together was something about a farmhouse on the road to Deerfort. Track the thieves down. I don't care what you do with them, but bring back the scroll. Whale rewards the persistent seeker, and so do I. Ancient scroll of Whale. That's a fine prize. I mean, a worthy task. This is also the place we should be for our friend's problem. I believe. Hmm. Okay. If it wasn't here, we're going to have to go to a different area. Maybe in the first fires, actually. Ducal Palace, Embassy, Crucible Keep.
Politics, infighting, greed, and a shrine to Margaret as well. Her clergy belongs there.
Let's see what we can do in the Ducal Palace.
Hail, traveler.
The young woman wears a simple but well-tailored uniform. She watches the comings and goings around her with quiet attention. Any news to share? Or are you just here to see the Ducal Palace? Tell me about the current Duke. That would be Avar Wolfgren. Don't let the title fool you, though. Our dukes have been elected since independence. Some find Duke Avar rather coarse. He's a forefront noble. Personally, I think a rough and tumble type is just what Defiance Bay needs. What goes on in here? Where to start? We've got meetings, public hearings, and ceremonies, and that's just the stuff that happens out in the open. She leans a little closer. This is where the Duke and his key advisors work, so there's always someone bartering for favor. Unfortunately, I'm not at liberty to talk about that side of things. But if you want the official version, she clears her throat and gestures counterclockwise around the palace. We have a shrine devoted to Margaret, official records, and chambers for the public hearings and council meetings. What kind of records are stored here? Mostly dull official stuff: census, counts, tax records, militia registers. Now I keep my distance. I got curious one day and got drafted into reshelving half the records. Ugh, worst day of my life. Right, that's what I need to. So it's the Temple of Margren. Hall of Records is up the stairs.
Hail and well met.
The woman's head is bowed and her lips move in prayer. Just as you approach, you catch a glimpse of the statue near her. She notices you and forces a smile. Praise be to Margaret, and welcome to her temple. How may I be of service? You seem upset. What's wrong? Her shoulders slump. This is about the fires, isn't it? She puts a hand on your shoulder. They're just symbols. You can't put your faith in them. Sit down and tell me what this is about. She sighs. Sacred pyres all around town. You must have seen the statues of the goddess around the city, holding up empty braziers. I've kept them burning steadily for 15 years. But I haven't been able to conjure them for months now, and people need to see them more than ever these days. What does that mean? It's my devotion and prayers that keep them lit. But lately, when I try to pray, all I can think about are the hollowborn all over the city, the grieving families, the refugees. I accidentally started mixing up the words family and refugee. That's not good. She shakes her head. How could Margaret allow us to suffer like this? What strength do we gain from a soulless child? Durance grunts with disdain. What strength do we gain from adversity? From trial and test? The fires don't wither because she lacks faith. They wither because she does not understand how to be faithful to. A wants neither praise nor devotion. They want to be compensated for their services, and Margaret is paid with pleasure and sweat and struggle and pain. This mewling and imbecile is unworthy of. And this is shaking your faith. She nods, running her hand through her hair. But I believe Margaret may be speaking to me again. She frowns and casts a quick glance in your direction. Lately, I've been seeing visions. A place in the wilderness with pools filled with sunbursts of color. Strange falls that seem to rise to the heavens even while they splash onto the earth. She She raises her hands as if framing an image in her vision. And beyond the falls is a cave, filled with fire and heat and danger. And some token of my goddess. I know there's something there, but where it is or how I get there, she shakes her head. I've been meaning to ask around at the expedition hall to see if anyone recognizes the description. To be honest, though, I don't know what I'd do even if I found the place. Worthless, like so many of Magrin's flock, afraid of her god's tests. If Magrin speaks to her, it is to hasten an end to a hypocrite's life, and this vision is surely a death trap for the weak. Interesting.
Hail and well met.
A taciturn man with graying hair pores over a tome he's just withdrawn from one of the shelves. He glances up at you with baggy eyes. Yes, there's something I can pull for you. I'm looking for militia records from the time of the Saints' War, trying to find out what happened to someone. The man clears his throat. We've had a number of inquiries about such information. I'm afraid we've had to bar access to the public. It seems there are still quite a number of folk in Deerwood who bear ill will towards reticence. It would be irresponsible to surrender their names to just anyone. Many came to settle here as refugees. Perhaps if you were to establish, or more established in Defiance Bay, things would be different. But I have no reason to suspect you to be any different from others. Okay. Okay. Okay, what's in here? We can't peruse the records because of reckless people.
How do you do?
Admar gives you an appraising eye. Judging by the scars on his face, he's lucky to be able to do that much. Every day we get more from the Hitherlands pouring into Defiance Bay. Tell me about the Crucible Knights. We're the defenders of Defiance Bay. We're not exactly a formal knighthood, but don't tell Commander Clevar that. He grins. We were the first organized militia to oppose Adrian rule, and today we are the largest force in the city. Our soldiers undergo years of combat training, and our officers are required to have their souls read by that critter out in Dunwood Row. What's this about the row? Just a requirement of the Crucible Knights, so the higher-ups know there's nothing messy built in your soul's past. He widens his stance. Keeping the ranks pure is fine by me. I just wish they were more careful about hiring their ciphers. What's wrong with their ciphers? He shifts his weight and glances at the empty halls. They're mostly Orleans. I'm sure they're talented enough, but you just can't trust them. Honestly, honesties or hostilities in their nature, and they've learned to hide it over the years. He frowns and crosses his arms. All I'm saying is they should at least be supervised by other folk. That's reasonable enough, isn't it? If people treated them better, you wouldn't have to worry about them being so hostile. He shrugs. I'm just speaking the truth. Nowadays it seems that's the biggest crime of all. Okay. Apparently this is a faction choice.
I've never been to Nasitok. Is it very cold? What creatures wander the tundra? How are your leaders chosen?
Do you always ask this many questions?
Well, that's just to get us started. Let me get out some parchment for notes.
Ask whatever you want. If I don't know, I'll make something up.
Let's go to the gift. Okay.
You must have seen some amazing sights on your way north.
Sure. Pirate cities floating in the archipelago. The mountain halls of these northern dwarves. Plenty.
I haven't been further south than the Deerwood myself. Maybe I'll come back after I've convinced the Ranganui and see all those things for myself.
I hope you do.
man's fancy clothes are ripped and blood flows from a fresh cut above his eye. He tries to push himself up, but his arm is shaking and he winces painfully. Help him up. Thank you, he gasps as he rises. My head. What happened? He carefully dabs his bloody nose with a silk handkerchief. I was just on my way to the club. He slowly stretches out one leg, grimaces at his scraped knee. It's a rough part of town, but the rabble's never been violent. Even a night with equality isn't worth this. He limps away. Yeah, the gift wasn't anything interesting. We can't go to Heritage Hill. Let's go to Brackenberry. I think this was another faction. If my choices are between what appear to be racist knights and extremists, I think this is going to be the one that we choose.
Greetings.
The burly guard eyes you warily. I don't... Tell me about this. An old and respected family, much of Defiance Bay's prosperity is due to their business activities. Okay, so it wasn't them.
I'll grant you that we'll reach among them. But does that warrant attacks on innocent practitioners? Superstitious kith have spilled their share of blood.
That's no comparison. Animancers have the advantage of education, and with that comes authority and responsibility.
I have to say, it's wonderful to have someone to debate with. You'd think they'd be more welcoming of it at the law college.
Or we could enjoy a glass of wine and a comfortable silence.
Well met, friend.
Orlin man is surrounded by books and scrolls. His wiry hair stands nearly on end. His ears prick up as you approach. You carry whispers. Cat noir, gilded veil, old voices indeed. How did you know? The Orling grins, revealing a row of dagger-pointed teeth. As a cipher, it's my job to know these things. I carry the whiffs of the ancients. Of ancients. What else can you tell me? His ears twitch downward. Not nearly as I would like, unfortunately. My duties for Lady Webb require me focus my talents elsewhere. He regards a table piled with scrolls. What brings you to Dydred Road? What? It looks like you could use some help. Wags a clawed finger. Not at liberty to discuss my work, unfortunately. Row ears only. A civilian would need the confidence of Lady Webb before we would share. Nameless agents. Nameless agents. Alright, so we need to make a name for ourselves in Defiance Bay. We're getting a good amount of experience, though. Still a neutral one in Defiance Bay. Right away, we have a person with a name. Young elf is dressed in gaudy robes that he seems ready to cast off. He picks at a heavily brocaded sleeve and continuously adjusts the gold chains around his neck. Looks up at you. Did she send you to run me out of town? You can tell her I'm not going anywhere without that medallion. I told Cyril I wouldn't let her sell it. If that's what you're here about, then save yourself the trouble. What are you talking about? He relaxes. If you have to ask, then you're obviously not here to shake me down. Cyril's courtesans over at the Salty Mast and Ondra's gift. Cyril's a courtesan over, okay. We've been working together for over a year now. I find a noble with more money than sense, fill him up with liquor, and send him her way. They have a good time, and Cyril takes her fee, and a little extra. Rubs his fingers together. 100 coppers here, a trinket there. It's a bounty for us. And these lords and ladies never notice anything missing. Go on. Anyway, we always split the bounty, until a week ago. He squeezes up into a tight frown. She takes a necklace off some noble. It's an Iguatha medallion. Damn near priceless. The relic is sacred to my clan, but she won't part with it for any sum I could afford. He tugs at the gold chain around his neck, and even if I wanted to, I can't go home without it. Sagani's brow furrows in pity. That's a hard thing. I'll see about getting this medallion from Cyril. You'll find her at the Salty Mast. The only way anyone sees her these days is by paying, so you'll have to go through Maya. He fidgets with his sleeve. But whatever you do, please don't hurt her. Another person with a name. Begging your pardon. Oh, it's you. It's good to see you well. We had a few rough days here, but then we found this place, and they were kind enough to hire us both. Things have been wonderful. I can't tell you how much we appreciate what you've done. The couple we spared. I can't say we saved them. Bandits. Alright, I'm going to go and take a quick look and see if my dog is doing okay out there. Marco? This might be bad. I'll be back. Unfortunately, my dog's harness broke, and I'm going to have to end it here. I'm not going to do the whole YouTube thing, but I will put the cards up later. But bye.